Hello everyone, this is the 27th video of Power Pages 30 Days Learning Series. If you are new to this learning challenge, just wanted to give a quick introduction about this initiative I took this new year. Since you already know, like the portal is one of the most popular component in the Power Platform family, and recently it has been branded as a Power Pages. We used to call it as a Power Apps portal, there are very quite less skill available in the market for the Power Pages. So my main objective is to cover all the topics related to the Power Pages from basic to advanced. And during this learning series, I want to cover all the topics of the portal from the introductions of Power Pages components, designing stuff, some customization related topics like how to write the liquid templates, how to customize the page, some designing related stuff, how to write the CSS, how to create your own custom style. And then we have some administration related topics as well. So today our main agenda is to discuss about the administration of the Power Pages. All right. So as I told you earlier as well, Power Pages is a low code, no code platform, which actually allows everyone to start designing the website. So it is for the pro developer, it is for the low code, no code developer, and it is for the site administrations as well. So portal is something that is external facing website. So there are a lot of admin related activities are also required to manage that site because the security part, the domain part, the SSL related part, and there are a lot of maintenance related work is also there that we can handle it from the admin panel of the Power Pages. Okay, so today our objective is to cover all the activities, all the actions that we can perform from the admin panel of the Power Pages. All right. So just wanted to give a quick announcement also if you are not aware about that. So I already did this announcement on my social media channel as well. So I'm featuring all the portal heroes on the closing day of the Power Pages 30 days learning challenge. As you know, like this was the 30 days learning challenge. And on 31st of January, I'm going to close this learning series. And I'm announcing that all the portal heroes, whether it's from the Microsoft or from the community, they're going to join us and they're going to share their experience about the Power Pages. So I don't need to introduce them. You know them. The Nick Dolman, who is the content writer of the Power Pages. So all the great stuff you read it on the MS Learn or the MS Docs. Nick Dolman is behind that. Dilip Singh, who is leading the Microsoft Power Pages team in the Microsoft. Deepthi, who is the security expert of the Power Pages, who recently published the white paper on the Power Pages security as well. So we're gonna have some interesting tips about the Power Pages securities as well. And we have the portal heroes who are also sharing a lot of great stuff related to the Power Pages. We have the Victor, Nicholas, Oliver, Alexander, Francisco, Raz, Cyril, Ulrich, and the Raghavan. So these are the people who are actually doing a lot of stuff on the portal. So you come across a lot of articles, videos on the internet of these heroes. Okay, so stay tuned for that. We're going to have a lot of funs on the last day of the Power Pages event. All right. All right. So if I talk about the today's agenda, it's administration of the Power Pages we're going to discuss about. So there is no deck that I'm going to show it today. I just wanted to demonstrate all the things on the live portal that what are the activities is there for the administrations and what are the actions that the admin can perform related to the Power Pages. All right. Okay, so let me quickly head over to the Power Apps makerportals.com. So this is the portal where you manage all the apps that you have in your environment, whether it's a Canvas app, model driven app, or the Power Pages app. All right. So first of all, if I want to understand like why this administration related activity is required, because portal is a public facing website and there are a lot of things like diagnostic the errors what is there in the portal, You have to update your Dataverse URL, or you have to restart your site, or whether you have to, enable the maintenance mode of the Power Pages sites. So there could be a lot of admin related activities are also there in the Power Pages, and that for that all the so to manage all these actions, we have a dedicated portal available that is called Power Platform Admin Center. And within that admin center, we have the Power Pages admin center as well. So all the Power Pages admin related activities we can perform from there. Okay. Now the first question is there, how can I open the admin center of the Power Pages? Okay. So the first option is that in the Power Apps Maker portal itself, you see your portal app. And if you just click on the three dot here, click on the settings, and you get to see this option administration. All right. So once you click on this administration, it takes you to the admin center of the Power Pages site. Okay. So that is the one thing. The second way of reaching it to the administration, as Microsoft has introduced the Power Pages Designer Studio. So they actually try to incorporate all the features related to the Power Pages, all the components related to the Power Pages within that Designer Studio only. So we don't need to navigate away from the Designer Studio in order to navigate away from the application. So if I head over to the Power Pages Designer Studio, if I go to the setup here, and this setup has a lot of other information as well, but there is an option called admin action. So all the admin related activities or admin related stuff, you can just directly open the admin center from here as well. Okay. So I'm just opening the admin center from here. So if I just click here, so it takes me to the admin center page. Now there are a lot of actions, a lot of properties, a lot of features are there. So I'm going to discuss about all the features in details. So let's say, so since this is the trial environment, so some of the actions I cannot perform it in the live environment, obviously, because let's say if I have to delete the portal, if I have to reset the portal, so these are also admin related activities. So I'm not going to perform these actions, but I'm going to give you a lot of details about that, so that if you are managing your Power Pages site in your live environment or in your production site, then how you have to deal with that. All right. Okay. So if I check the toolbar option on the admin panel, there is an option called site actions. So site action basically tells you that what sort of actions you can perform on a particular site. Site means your Power Pages sites, and actions, what actions you can perform it. Okay. So you can restart the site. So sometimes if some of the configuration you are doing in the portal required the restart of the site as well, and sometimes it also happens like your services are not working properly, your portal performance is not that good, or some of the activities require the restart of the site. Okay, so then in that case, you can just come to the portal admin center and you can just restart your site as well. Okay, so just one example, I just wanted to give you like few site settings. So let's say if you are enabling the search, so I discussed that about the global search enable option in the Power Pages in my earlier session as well. So let's say you have to enable the global search, and some of the settings that you are doing in the site setting is not reflecting on the portal. So probably you need to restart your site. Sometimes you are enabling the Dataverse search, and in order to your index in order to rebuild your index, sometimes you don't get that option in the trial environment, because on your sandbox on the production portal, you get that option to rebuild the search index, so that it update the index in the background, so that your search record will be available on the portal. But sometimes on the trial instance, you don't get that option. So you need to restart the site. So there are a couple of business use cases are there where you need to restart your portal site. So that is option for that. Okay, so once you restart your site, you get the notification that your site is going to restart, and in the background it actually restart your web app. Okay, so if I have already discussed about the architecture of the Power Pages in my first or the introduction of the Power Pages session. So in that session, I discussed about what is the architecture of the Power Pages. So once you install the portal, once you provision the portal, what actually happened in the background. Okay, what actually happened in the Azure side. So it actually create a Azure web app in the Active Directory. So when you restart your site, it actually restart that web app in the Azure Active Directory. Okay, so you get to see the option when you try to access the portal, when your site is being restarted, then you get the message on the portal that your service has been stopped right now, and just wait for that until it restart. Okay, so this is about the restart of your site. Shut down this site. So shutdown will completely turn off your site. So once you turn off your site or shut down your site will not be accessible, neither for the internal user or nor for the customer. So sometimes let's say you got some security loophole on your website, and you just want to turn off that site until you investigate it. So quite a business use cases are there where you want to temporarily shut down your site unless you investigate the root cause of the security loophole, something like that. So this is just a simple example I'm giving to you, but there could be a lot of business use cases are there where you need to keep your site down for a particular moment of a time. All right. So this option you can use it to shut down your site. Delete this site is basically it doesn't delete your complete portal from your environment. So I think I've already discussed about that this reset and delete in my earlier session, I guess. So where I've discussed about like how to reset the portal or how to delete the site. So I'm not going to discuss more about that delete the site because we have a dedicated session on that, that how you can delete the site, how you can reset the site. But the main thing is that once you hit the delete this site, it's not gonna flush all the configuration that you have made in your Dataverse environment or in your portal management app. So for example, if you have created any forms, list, or the web pages or table permission, content snippet, so that's not gonna delete it. Okay, it will remain as in your database environment. All right. Disable custom error. For this also, I'm going to have a separate session that how you can handle the errors or you can troubleshoot the portal errors and the logs and all. But just to let you know, because this is also part of the admin activity. So disable custom error means custom error is obviously your own error that you are throwing it within the Dataverse. So custom error is basically, it's a user friendly way to show the error messages. Okay, so let's say if you are creating a portal and you don't want that if any error occurs on the portal, then you just show the yellow page or just break down the site completely. It will not give a good impact to the customer. So instead of that, you should show a user friendly message to the customer. Okay, so if you disable the custom error, then it will show the detailed error message. So that is basically used for the developer's perspective, because sometimes developer want to see the actual error message that is being generated from the server side, so that they can troubleshoot or find the root cause of the error. But in the actual scenario, if you are on the production, you should not disable the custom errors, otherwise it will show the yellow screen, the server 404 not found, something like that. If you are aware about the .NET application, we always see the yellow page, the server error, something like that. So this is about that. So you should always enable the custom error so that you can see the user friendly message on the portal. And I have a session also on that. So if you have a questions like can I customize the error message that I'm throwing to the users, so that is also possible. So in that session I'm going to show you that as well, that how you can customize your error messages as well. Okay. Enable diagnostic logs. So that is also very important. If you just wanted to enable the logs so that whenever anything goes wrong in your portal, or if it is not working, then you want to log that information somewhere in the Azure Blob storage. So you have that option in the Power Apps portals that once you enable the diagnostic log, you can simply provide the Azure Blob storage URL where the portal dumps all the kind of logs. So if anything goes wrong, you can just go and check out your blob storage location, and then you can investigate the issue. You get the detailed error message in the logs. All right. And the last one is the enable maintenance mode. So sometimes due to some technical glitch or some temporary outage, your site is not accessible, or your site is not working, or let's say you are in the mid of your deployment. So in that case, you can enable the maintenance mode on your Power Pages site, so that you can ensure that while you are doing the deployment, or while you are performing any activity, or while any issues on the portal, no one can interact your website. Okay. So you can enable the maintenance mode as well. So once you enable the maintenance mode, you get to see some default maintenance message on the portal, that the site is temporarily down. Please wait for some time, something like that. It actually get the out of box message, but you get the option to provide your HTML URL as well. So for example, if I want to show some custom error message or some custom maintenance related error message, not the error message, custom maintenance related message on the Power Pages site. So I get the option to provide the public HTML URL. Okay, so that URL must be the publicly accessible, because if it is not publicly accessible or publicly hosted, then that will not work on the on this particular site. And sometimes what happen is, we think like, can we create create a web page or HTML page in the Power Pages site itself, and we can provide the URL of that in the maintenance page. So this is not gonna work, because if your site is completely down, or if it is in the maintenance mode, then no page of the portal will gonna work, right? So you have to make sure that you are not going to provide any Power Pages web page URL there. Otherwise, it will also not work if it is in the maintenance mode. Okay. So you can provide the HTML page URL. So let's say if I just click on the enable and maintenance mode, and now here you have the option whether you want to show the default page, or you want to show some custom page URL. So in the custom page, you have to provide your HTML, page URL that is publicly available. So once you do that, then your site will be restarted and will be unavailable for the few minutes. All right. So if I click on the enable diagnostic log, and here you have to provide the Azure storage connection string. So if you have the Azure subscription, then you can, just enable this, diagnostic logging feature, and till how much time you want to keep your log for 1 day, 7 days, always. So it's up to you. And you can provide the connection string of your blob storage so that you can keep your logging there. Okay, so that is the other feature. And disable custom error. So if you disable this, the website will not be available to site visitor for few minutes. So these kind of action, if you perform it, it actually restart your sites. So you need to make sure like you are not enabling these features during the business hours, because when the site is being used by the audience, then these actions should not be taken at that time, because your site will be completely down for a few minutes because it restarts your sites. Okay. All right, so these are all the actions we have in the site action. And if I just click on these three dots, some of the options are also there, like manage dynamic 365 instance. So if you just wanted to check like what is the Dataverse environment or the Dynamic 365 environment to which my portal is connected. Okay, so you can just click here and can check like the environment URL. So this is the environment URL or the Dataverse environment URL, which is connected to this particular Power Pages site. Okay, now you may have the questions like, can I change this Dynamic 365 URL? So let's say sometimes what happen is this is not the meaningful URL or meaningful environment name. And let's say your admin wants to change the name of your Dynamic 365 URL or organization name. Okay, so in that case, if they make any changes in this URL, then your portal will not be work, because portal is basically link in the background to this dynamic 365 URL. So if you are making any changes in the dynamic 365 URL, you can just click on the update dynamic 365 instance, or you can just click or update dynamic 365 URL from here. So by doing that, you can, since the portal has automatically detected that there is no change in the URL right now. So there is no requirement to change it. But if you want to change it in the live environment, you have the option to update the URL as well. Okay, so once you update the URL of your Dynamics 365, it will restart your portal. But just wanted to make sure, like, it's not like that your portal configuration will be deleted or the mode. So there it will be it will remain as is. Your configuration, your solution, your hosting, everything will be there. Only your linking will be changed with the updated Dynamic 365 URL. All right. All right, so let's talk about the other options like metadata translation. So I've already have a session. I've already discussed about that. In the language translation, we have the capabilities in the Power Pages that we can enable multiple languages also. So once you enable the multiple languages, you have the option to change the translation of the portal components from the portal components itself, like content snippet and the web pages, web link set. So you have seen, like, for each component, it creates a new component related to a particular languages. So for example, if I create, the web link set, so if I enable three languages, then it creates three new web link set for that respective, languages, right? But as I told you in that session as well, that it's not going to change, the Dataverse component, because your portal is linked with the Dataverse, and Dataverse has a lot of components like your fields, your views, your subgrids. So they also have some of the naming convention. They have the labels as well. So some of the out of box labels get automatically changed, but some of the custom components. So let's say, you are creating the components after enabling the language, right? So in that case, that will not automatically translate it. So in that case, you can utilize this feature called metadata translation. Okay, so by doing that, whatever latest metadata translation you have done in the Dataverse will automatically update here. Okay, so this is the way how you can update the latest metadata translation, so that your Dataverse component languages will also get changed along with the language translation. Install field service extension, install project service or extension. So this is just a new add-on or the extension. You can install it. So sometimes what you want is, like, you are using the partner portal and you want to use some of the capabilities of the field services and the project services in that. So let's say quotation management, opportunity management, or some work order management related activities. So these kind of features, specifically related to the field service or the project service, you don't get it in any of the default templates. But these are just an add-on feature. These are not the portal actually. These are not the portal template actually. These are just a feature that you can enable it on your portals. Okay, so this is all about that. And so these are the options that you can manage it from the admin center. So I don't want to go to the classic UI, because this is basically the legacy UI where you used to handle all these actions, from the different page. So you can, if you're familiar with the switch to classic option, that I can click on that. So you will get all the options that we already have in the admin panel in this old UI as well. So all these options like portal actions, certificates, and everything is there. So you can perform all the same action from the classic UI as well that you are doing it from the admin panel. This section is basically about the site details. So here you can find the details about your site, the URL, then your custom domain. So right now there is no custom domain is connected to my site. So it's nothing to show here. Application type is trial. So I have just created the Power Pages site on my trial instance. So it's a trial version. If it is a production, then it will show the production version. Early upgrade is basically a feature. So whenever you install the portal, you have the option whether you want to enable it for the early upgrade. So if I go to the classic view, there is an option called enable portal for the early upgrade. I don't recommend to enable this option on the production site because this property actually automatically install all the updates if Microsoft is making some changes in the portal from the back end or from the front end. It automatically applies on your environment, on your portal environment. Okay, but sometimes you can enable the settings on your development environment or in the test environment, but you may not want to enable directly into the production unless you do the testing of that feature, because it may impact a lot of things if without any testing you are incorporating any new feature in the Power Pages site. Okay. So this feature is about that, and site state is currently on because I can turn off the site or turn off the site as well and turn on the site as well. So based on that, it actually show the state of the site right now. Application ID is basically, as I told you in my first session, when you create a portal, it actually install application. It actually create a Azure app in the Active Directory. So if I head over to my Active Directory and just click on the app registration here, so you will get to see a respective portal app got created here. So this is the portal Power Pages training, and you can see the application ID which is listed here is basically the same. You can see it in the admin center. So D95BB015, and it's exactly this application ID. All right. So it depends. So each portal that you are installing in your environment will have their own application ID or the own application in the Azure. Okay. All right. Now this is the organization URL to which my portal is connected. There are a couple of things related to the security of the portal. The first thing is the IP restriction. So if you are creating your Power Pages site for a company or for an organization where they want to allow portal access to a particular network or within a particular network. So let's say if I talk about the intranet, where you want to create a portal for a banking, and they want to allow that only only the employees or only the users which works in a particular network can only access this particular site. Okay, so in that case you can restrict the portal access using the IP addresses as well. So if you just click on the IP address new, you can list down all the IP addresses here. So whatever list you are providing of all the IP addresses here, these IP addresses machines can only access the portal. Apart from that, there will be no one can access your portal actually. Okay. So this is about the IP address blocking feature in the portal. So from the security point of view, custom certificate is basically it is basically to provide the SSL certificate or the custom domain. So let's say, for example, I'm creating a portal for the Capgemini, okay, and instead of showing the domain called Power Pages Training .powerappsportals.com, I want to change the domain to capgemini.com. Okay, because most of the time your client wants to use their own SSL certificate or the domain uh, on the portal, right? So this is not your you know concern thing. Before you are going to before you are going live with your website, you need to ask your customer, because if they already have the existing website, they must have the SSL certificate file available with them. If not, then I have discussed about the go live checklist as well. So you need to tell them or convey them in advance that we are going live with the portal. So help us with the SSL certificate that we need to enable into the portal. Okay. So once you have the SSL certificate enabled, you can just click on new and you can update the file. So these two information your customer has to provide to you. Okay. The SSL certificate file and the password of that respective certificate. All right. It's basically a PFX file. So certificate is basically a PFX file, and the password is also attached to that. Website authentication key. This is also very important things from the admin perspective. So website authentication key is something that actually create a bridge between your portal and your Dataverse. Okay, so as you know, like portal and the Dataverse are connected with each other because your all the data is going to store it in the Dataverse, and portal is just a public facing website. Okay, but did you imagine like how the portal is basically communicate with the Dataverse? So I've already discussed about that in my first session, that what is the architecture behind that. So whenever you create the portal, it actually create the application in the Azure Active Directory. So as you can see here, this is my portal, Power Page Training, and with the same name, a app got created, Power Pages Training app, and it has the application ID. So all the authentication is basically happen between your portal and your Dataverse. It is basically, it is basically with the use of this particular app. So this app actually makes the trust between your Dataverse and your Power Pages site. So all the data communication which is being done between the Power Pages and the Dataverse is happened because of this particular site only. Okay, now when this site got created, you must have a question like how the authentication works actually between the portal and your Dataverse. So it is a certificate based authentication, because whenever you create an Azure app, there are different types of authentications are there. One is your client ID secret key based authentication. So if you have ever created any external application, let's say C# application or window based application, or anything, if you ever try to consume the dynamic 365 data or the Dataverse data outside the the CRM application, you always use the Oauth authentication, right? And in case of Oauth authentication, you do the same activity that Microsoft doing in the background. You create the application, you generate the client ID and secret key, and then you provide that client ID and secret key in the web config file, and then you can make the connection with your Dataverse, right? But here it's not a client ID or secret key based authentication, because if I click on the authentication in the certification secret, there are different types of certification secrets. So first is your client secrets. So either you can create a client secret, and with the combination of client secret and client ID, you can communicate with your respective application via this particular web app. Okay, but there is another option is called certificate. So portal is basically based on this certificate based you know certificate based authentication. So the certification you are seeing here is exactly same. You see it on the Power Pages Admin Center. Okay, so this we call it as a authentication key, and the expiration date of this authentication is 2 years. Okay, so I installed the portal on the 4th of January. So it is getting expired on the 3rd of January 2025. Okay, so that means every 2 years you have to renew this key, or you have to update this key. So how you can update that? You can just click on the update key, and you can provide the updated key as well. So sometimes what happen is you are not the, you don't have the access in the Active Directory or in the Azure. So you cannot see like when this key is getting expired. So you have the another option. You can go to the portal and just check your service.update URL. And here you will find the option auth key expiration date, and the same date which is being appeared in the Active Directory also, you can find it from here. And as per Microsoft, they actually notify you 1 day, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, and 30 days, 90 days before your key is getting expired. So the duration might be differ, but they actually notify you before the keys, getting expired in your environment, so that you can change your key. But if any case, if you forget to change the key, then it shows the message in the Power Platform Admin Center that your key got expired, or even you got the message on the portal service about page as well in the bottom, that your key has got expired. Please update that key in order to access your portal. All right. So this is about the authentication key. Now the next thing is the manage site visibility permissions. So manage site visibility permission. So this is a new feature that Microsoft has incorporated recently. So this feature basically allow that who can set the visibility of your site. So this is not for the external audience. This is for the internal audience actually. Like site visibility are basically two types, either private or public. Okay. So if you are setting the site visibility to public, that means your site can be accessed by anywhere in this world or anyone in this world. Okay, if it is setting it to the private, that means only the internal user who have the specific access to this site can access it. Okay, so I'm not talking about the public visibility because public is quite common thing, right? If you are setting it to public, anyone can access it, but this is about the private site visibility. Now if I'm setting the site visibility to private, then who can access this site? Okay, so there are two things here. The first, someone who is having these four roles, they can access or they can manage the site visibility in your environment. But sometimes what you want is like system administrator, you want to control it, right? Because let's say you are working in an environment where there are some CRM administrations, there are some developers who are taking care of all the CRM related developments. So they also have the CRM system administration rights. So you may not want that those CRM developer can access my website. Only the portal developers who have the system administration right, they can manage the site visibility. Okay. So in that case, what you can do is you have a PowerShell script. I'm not going to discuss about that in more deep dive manner in this particular session. But yeah, Microsoft has given a PowerShell script. So by default, all the system administrator have the rights to set the site visibility, but by using that PowerShell script, you can simply turn off this setting for system administrator. Okay, so if I just click on learn how to change the site setting, it takes me to this site, and they have provided this PowerShell script. And this PowerShell script is basically you can change the system admin site visibility to false. So by doing that, if you do that, all the system administrator will not be able to manage this site setting. Okay. All right. So another thing is that the site visibility can also be managed from this uh, designer studio as well. So if I just head over to the designer studio, I have the option called grind site access. So choose the people who can interact with this site. By default, your system administrator will have this access. Okay. So as I told you, all the system administrator by default have access. But if you just want to disable this option that all the system administrators should not have access to the site, only the administrator that I want should have access. So for that purpose, you can just enable this particular settings through the PowerShell script. Okay. Now you may have the question like if I just enable this site visibility to false, then all the system administrator will not be able to manage this setting. Yes, but you have the option for, if I just go to here, you have the option to choose the security group here. Okay, so if you disable the system administrator site visibility option, but then you have the option to add the security groups as well. So as you can see here, I have a lot of security groups are available on my environment. So if a particular user is part of this security group and they have the system administrator rights, then they can manage the site settings, then they can manage the site visibility. Sorry. All right. So this is about that. So these users can anyways manage the site visibility. But apart from that, you can enable the security groups as well, and you can add the user to it who can you want to manage the site visibility. And if you want to give the access to the individual user, then you have the option within the Designer Studio so let's say I just wanted to give the access to RAS. So I'll just search RAS. So it will search through here. So I can select the RAS, and let's say if I just wanted to give access to the Victor as well, so it will search Victor. So like this way, I can give the site visibility action Like if I just mention the name, these all the people can access the site as well. Okay, if it is a private. Okay. Now, how many number of users I can mention here? So the limit is 50 right now. So maximum you can give a site access to the 50 users. So for individual, you can provide the details here. And for the security group level, you can provide the access here. All right. So this is all the settings are done. Now we have the option called site health. So this is basically I'm also going to cover in the logging part as well. So we're going to have a session where we want to discuss about how you can troubleshoot the errors, how you can manage the custom errors and all. So I'm going to discuss about that in that session as well. But you have the option to run this site checker. So this actually runs in the background and display all the security loopholes, configurations, issues in your site, and list down here in 3 columns. The first is, so let me run it now so that I can quickly show it to you that how does it work. So if I hit run, it actually scan through all my configuration, all the security settings, and will list down all the loopholes that I have right now. So as you can see here, I have 3 columns issue. So it actually display the issue that I have in my site, and it actually related to the configuration. So categories shows like that it is related to the configuration, or is it related to the performance, or is it related to any security probably, or this is related to the portal startup. So category basically shows the category in which that particular error belongs to. And the last is the result. So whether this is a warning, or this is a error, or this is something that you don't need to care about it because it's already passed. All right. So let's say I got this site inspection error that the parent page of an active web page is inactive. Okay. So if I just open that, the inactive web pages listed here have a child page that is not active state. So that means it is saying like some of the parent page or the child page are in active state. So that is not a good approach. So it will lead you to the error. So we can fix this issue. So it also provides the mitigation steps as well. Okay, so you can find that particular web page by this ID as well. So it actually helps you to find out the issue. If you anyways resolve that particular issue and you want to rerun this site health, you can just click on the refresh results as well. So then it will rerun your, it will rerun or scan through all the applications portal functionality again, and will list down all the changes in the updated manner. All right. So this is about the site health. You can see it. Now, if I just check the performance part, there is 2 additional option called Content Delivery Network and the Web Application Firewall. So CDN and Web Application Firewall is not allowed on the trial instance. So you need to convert your portal into the production. Then only you can enable this feature. But I have discussed about in more details about this 2 new feature that Microsoft has incorporated in my first session, in the introduction session. So if you haven't watched that video, I would recommend to just watch that first, because in that video I have discussed in more detailed way that what is CDN and what is web application firewall. But just to want to give a quick understanding about that, CDN is basically related to how your content is being fetched from your local server. Okay, so content, if you are enabling the content delivery network, it actually ensure that whatever content is being loaded on your site, like your images, your scripts, or your data, it should be retrieved from your local server. Okay, not from the server that is away from your location. So it automatically improve the site performance, right? Because if your content which is being retrieved from not from the local server, it gonna take time to load on the portal to communicate with your server, right? The server is the main thing. Your portal is client and your server where your data is stored. So if the communication between your client and server is fast, or if your server is in your local region, so let's say I'm creating the Power Pages site in the India region, okay, and if I enable the content delivery network to my portal site, my content will be loaded from the Indian server, okay, not from the Sweden server. Okay, so if my content is being loaded from the Sweden server, then definitely it's gonna take a lot of time, and it may impact the performance of the portal as well. So this CDN is about the performance or how your content should be loaded on the portal. Web application firewall is something related to the security. So basically, it's a Azure, related setting. So it actually provides the additional layer of security between your Power Pages site and your server. Okay, so that you can avoid the impact the malicious attack on your Power Pages site. Okay, so just watch my first video as well, because in that I have discussed more about these two features that Microsoft has incorporated. If you have the question like, do I need to have any additional license in order to use these two features? Then the answer is no, you don't need to have any license for these features. You can just simply enable that. You just need to have the production site available because it's not available for your trial instance. The last is your services. So this, I think I've already discussed about that. So if you want to enable the SharePoint integration for providing document management capabilities, you can directly manage it from here. You can enable the settings from here. If you want to embed the Power BI report or embedded visualization or the embedded services, you can also manage it from here. So this topic, I think I've already discussed in more details. So I'm not going to dive deep into that. Just one last thing from the admin perspective, I want to show you here that sometimes you want to upgrade your portal as well. Okay, you let's say you are working on the development environment, and you don't want to automatically upgrade that portal, so you can keep this setting to no. So that means whatever new upgrade or new releases are there on the portal, it will not update your portal instance. So if you want to manually do that, how you can do that? So if I just head over to the environments, and in the environments you can see you can go to the individual environments to show the portal instance. So let's say this is my portal instance right now. So if I just head over to the portal, and in the left panel there is a tab called resource, and if I just go to the Power Pages site, and here it will list down all the Power Pages site I have in my environment, no matter I am on which environment, because as you can see here I have 5 environment here, and all the 5 environment I have the portal available. Okay, so which portal you want to upgrade it? So you just, so let's say this is the portal I have right now, and I want to upgrade this portal. So I'll just click on this three dot, and I have the option called check portal package for update. Okay, so first of all, it will check whether it is really required to upgrade your portal, because it might be possible that you are already on the higher version of the portal, right? So it first of all checks whether you are on the you are already on the higher version. Otherwise, it will show the message no portal package update for upgrade. That means my portal is already on the higher version. But if it is not on the higher version, it will display here that your portal is eligible for the upgrade. Do you want to upgrade it now? So once you hit OK, it will automatically take care of update. So you don't need to do anything manually. It takes some time, but it automatically upgrade your portal. So that is about the upgrade. The last thing from the admin center, you can check how many logins are there, how many page views are there. So that is, I think, one of the most common question in the community, that if I want to audit this thing, like how many logins are there on my portal, how many page views are there on my portal. So for that purpose, you can simply go to the capacity. Okay, and if you just click on the add-on, here you will list down all the things here. But what I'm going to do is click on the environment first. I'll head over to the environment where my portal is installed, and then for that portal, I'll click on capacity. And if I just go down, you can see on the add-ons, I have the option how many portal logins are there, how many portal pages views are there. Since my website is private right now, so you don't see any sort of portal logins, because that is for the external users. So you can simply track these two things. How many views are there? So that is basically from the anonymous user perspective. And logins is basically for the authenticated user. So that you can track that how many users can have logged in till now, or you can simply download the reports as well. Here you can see the Power Pages anonymous capacity and the authenticated capacities as well, that what capacity you have right now in your environment. All right, so this is all about the admin related stuff. I hope you got a lot of knowledge related to that. So if you have any questions related to the admin related settings, I know like some of the action I couldn't perform because I am on the trial environment, but at least you should understand and you should know about each and every properties and each and every features, so that when you are working in the live environment, you should at least aware about that if anything goes wrong or if you have to change any property. All right. All right, so thank you so much for watching this video. Probably in the next video, I'm going to discuss about how to delete the portal, how to reset the portal. So just stay tuned for that. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.